There's potential in this episode for something that I just would not have expected at all before starting this series, before starting the last episode, even 22 minutes into the last episode. But I have not expected. We're possibly going down our Jinshi cross-dressing arc. I'm excited. I hope we go for it. I hope it's not just a bait. I hope that they're not just like, oh, he's actually just figuring out makeup stuff for other reasons. No, I hope we full commit to it and we go for it. And I bet he could fool everybody, no issue, besides just being a tall dude. I do wonder what the plans are. Got absolutely nothing in mind. Locked in somebody that we're still going to keep an eye on and figure out what the hell he's got going on and how he ties into us and what we're kind of doing in the overall picture with the new lady that we kind of got involved with and everything else. So there's a bunch of stuff kind of in the background going on that we have to hopefully bring into the fold in the main story here, like really start pushing it in, and hopefully that happens. But I don't know. Excited though. Hopefully this is just a fun one to be like, like and subscribe to me a lot. So if you have Instagram for discussion, let me comments with this episode our series. Toho animation show will be blacked at some point. Please check the link in the comments or description if there is no reaction portion or if the entire thing here is muted and you'd like to watch it with audio. Let's get going on with episode 17. I got you, little bro. All right, good luck. I don't want to see this. You explain? Yeah. You're the only one who sees him like that, though. Hmm. It seems so. It's crazy that women are the cause for all of the wars and things because these dudes they can't control themselves. He just wants to match you, if we're being honest. What is your play here, brother? Make him look like a clown. Make him look like a clown. He's fucking glowing. Hmm. You got a lot of work done there, buddy. By the way that they smell. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Just in general are avoidable. Hmm. This is exactly who I figured that she'd be talking to. She's like, I could not see him like that. He's not going to be all silky smooth anymore, though. No. They're ruining him. He brought it upon himself, though, for being honest. Yeah, you signed up for this. Perfect. Not here. Not here. My man is chiseled. Oh my goodness. Don't let anyone see this. They won't buy it. Oh. It looks chubby now. But do it in a way that his build doesn't show. Gotcha, gotcha. We gotta fuck you up, brother. Yeah, we got like an hour to go, brother. Perfect. Stunning. Look just like your mom. Yeah, let's not go that far. You're best not telling him. Hmm. Be training. Yeah, appears so. Hmm. You should at least think about that. Put your mind to it. It looks so different. She's really going all out there. She did not lie. My God. Hard work is done. You're a changed man. Wow. Mm. He always looks like that to me. Can you go with him? What is he doing? Oh no. We gotta send them with someone else that they're not used to seeing. Sure, alright. Mm. Everyone else does, so. Yeah, let's dress you up. Let's make you look good, you know? Let's reverse the roles. They'll be proud if she goes back home and she's looking good too. They'll be like, oh, you're actually keeping up your appearance for work. Unless they just make her look really bad, but I hope they just reverse roles entirely. Slash a little bit. Oh, they made her look good. Perfect. Dude. Yo, brother. I like her hair. He's been training for this. Not Sama. There you go. There you go. He's so happy to be playing this. Hmm. It'll be looking too good though. Yeah. Where the fuck do you need to go, bro? Oh, okay, okay. He's keeping watch. It's fun that we're keeping him involved in the story as well. He don't do it for that. Yeah, he's probably just happy with it though. Bro's fucking thrilled with this. I pay attention to me. Bro, he's so needy. My God. Nice. That's the type of shit you don't get there. Yep. The cotton. Camp. Hmm. She's starting to piece some things together. Pick up on some things, you know? Hmm. Fucking thrilled. Hmm. Huh. That was the plan. Why did they stop? Hmm. I didn't expect a good reason from you. My goodness. Hmm. Well, some things happened within the palace. Mm, yes. Some. Yeah. Yep. Damn. So you have to taint the getting yeah. Start piecing some shit together unpleasantly. Throw it all out. Everything that happened for 20 minutes. Throw it out. We got to talk about the last scene. It's the only one with the substance that I really want to lot to discuss. Okay. It can go two ways. Well, it can go many ways, but I'm going to lock it in my own head. It goes two ways, and then we're going to kind of discuss it from there. Both of them turn Locken into a piece of shit. So, if it does go another way, I think that would be ideal. But he has openly mentioned before that he has done dirty tactics and other things, causing the lowering of a value of one specific, and then Jinchi wanting to figure that out, Mamao's distaste in it, him trying to piece and connect the dots between her possible connection to somebody else that was within the palace at some other point, and then a whole bunch of other things. So when we tie everything in together, we get left with basically two options. Locken said that he was very interested in this person and did not want to be like stuck out bidding, between all these other people. Also, because he just couldn't afford it or whatever. If he ended up coming to it, I'm assuming there were plenty of people who were curious and interested in this person, but she was very different. But it was that reason and that difference like about her that made everybody kind of intrigued so much and really interested in her. So he does talk about the only ways that he could kind of do anything was by causing her to lose her value, even though he ended up not buying her out or doing anything as a result. So what was his reason for lowering it? Was it specifically to lower her value to get other people to leave her alone, to allow her to be his basically, or no longer as desired or wanted in a way from others? Would it be that, or would it be because he kind of grew tired and sick of this person and he no longer had a interest in them and he just said, screw it, I can just do this? Or was he just like, what was his motivating factor for doing this? I'm left believing my first option would be something that I think would make sense. It's like a selfish move. It's like I don't want anybody else to have this thing, so I'll do whatever I have to allow everybody to no longer have this thing, if that makes sense. Even talking about going as far as like having the idea of kind of forcing himself upon her as like a option that kind of came into his own mind at some other time and point. If he says that he's thought about it, but doesn't state that he like did, and that's actually the underhanded tactic in any sort of way he went about doing. So my options that I'm left with is he actually did do that, and he just kind of lied or omitted that from the conversation in which he ended up having with Jinchi. And it wasn't just a thought, it was like an actual physical action in which that he put upon her, because one, it causes to lose a purity, and two, if she ended up becoming pregnant, then he would be able to allow her value and everything to slowly lose itself, or not slowly, but actually just lose itself completely, causing things to be good in his own situation. But then if he ended up actually going about it and doing that, that would put him in a position where possibly he's no longer interested in her anymore. Responsibility that could come from it, loss of purity would be loss of interest, possibly like that he actually could have. Loss of value could be something that leads to like he no longer has a status or like a thing that he feels like special and unique about having this person, because they're no longer what they once were in some sort of way and have been tainted. I'm assuming is how he would ultimately end up looking upon it. I hate that idea, but it's just it feels like it would be right. It feels like we're drawing him up to be somebody who is looked at more as a villain, would cause him to be father of Mao Mao, would cause him to be very relevant within the story, and it'd be interesting to think about. Hence, I mean, the similarities that he was so interested with her, and then now are with her mom, or who we're assuming was her mom, and then now becoming who she is and everything. I don't know. The other option that I'm thinking is he says he didn't take it upon himself to do that. He couldn't, or he wouldn't, or for whatever reason. I don't know if I put it past him to be the organizer of finding a person and or group of people, whether it be through hiring them or just somehow coordinating it, where they have a group or a single person who takes it upon themselves and forces themselves onto her. I don't think I would put that past her, and my mind's kind of going that direction, which caused him to use some sort of tactic, allowing somebody else to come in and do it so he could kind of be free and not end up doing it himself, strictly maybe with the intention of, let me just kind of have this person be tainted in a way that it would be more beneficial towards him, and then she became pregnant when he wasn't expecting that, or even if he did and that's what the intention was of him and the other person, that still happened, causing him to lose interest in this other person. Or maybe she just literally refused, like full refusal to actually go out of her way and see him, would be the ideas that I'm kind of having here. So we can be left in a situation where he is not the father of Mao Mao, but we can be left in situations where he is. So whatever we learn from him and going forward here is going to be very critical. I'm going to lean more towards he is. Although the show does a good job at throwing me for a loop with some things, I just feel like we've built him to a point that he's so relevant. But I guess even if he isn't, he is so relevant if we go to that second route that I'm thinking, right? So I don't know. It's unfortunate to think that that would even be an option, but you do have to think of like the time and the place and just how people were treated, women specifically, or women of like these statuses, and the way that men kind of went about these things. I mean, you even saw how dissatisfied Mao Mao became at the back end, assuming that Jinshi was going or wanted to come here for something so similar, right? And even having to ask those questions and those things, and she's just being disgusted by it. I mean, you can just see how poorly a lot of them are treated, to the point that of course there's going to be dumb shit like that that unfortunately has to end up happening, and I don't doubt that that wasn't something that was extremely common at the time. It just, I don't know, going forward, I don't have too much I guess I can guess, but it just, I hope it's a little bit more tame. I hope, like, I was praying. I'm not gonna lie, I had these thoughts episodes ago, but it's more of I was just praying and under the hope that he lowered her value in a way that she literally just became useless because he like poisoned her, or he did something along those lines, and it would connect with Mao Mao in some sort of way, but it would allow for her to no longer have a value at all because she's so ill, possibly to a point that he knew that she wouldn't die but would struggle to recover in some sort of way and become like diseased or whatever over time. I mean, I'm assuming she does know her. Like, I'm assuming that person that she was upstairs looking after within that house, before, in one of those previous episodes when she ended up going back home, was her mom that she was kind of sitting there watching over. So she's still around. I don't know. There's a lot of ways that we can go, but hopefully it's none of them. Hopefully it's just something else, and hopefully there's like another way that she didn't actually discuss of what could possibly lower value and do these things, because like he literally made it a clear point of being like she would sell her skills but never herself, right? So clearly, if either of those two things are things that result in lowering a value and are, say, the only things, because they are the only things specified through Mao Mao right now. So unless we're omitting things, or she just didn't get around to, or isn't aware of these certain things, it would only make sense that we would unfortunately have to go that route. He made it very clear that she would not sell herself. So if that was the case for any sort of reason, pleasure reason, or through the idea of just becoming someone else's, right? And either way, she was not down for that. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to move forward, and that's kind of a little bit where my brain's at. The rest of the episode is interesting to me because it follows like where it's not, I guess, important, if that makes sense. And I'm not trying to like act like we don't need it, but we could have gone from point A of like end of last episode to end of this episode and skipped all the in between. And I feel like we would still arrive at the exact same point with, and nobody would be questioning like, how did we end up here, right? I feel like everything was explained in the same exact sort of way, between like the two last like conversations that we really had, that almost makes it like we didn't need it. But I enjoy it because I like getting like all these little things, and they allow for those other moments to hit so much more, and they allow like having your characters be on good terms and enjoying themselves and being like a little bit more free together. It allows you to have all these things that build up like a connection, or a thing that just the viewer themselves actually feels towards these characters, and builds up to that moment that actually ultimately comes. Mao Mao, or not Mao Mao, but Jinshi wants to end up getting basically revamped in total here. He wants to change somebody, change who he is, and he wants to become somebody who looks to be more common. He wants to be, it's not straight cross-dressing, right? We didn't want to go that route, which was what I was kind of hoping for, but instead we're going to go a little bit out of our way, and we're just going to make him look like a lot more of a commoner. And that's his sole intention here. And he's doing this in a way that to me, I guess doesn't make any sense, because maybe I'm misreading it, but I'm reading it as he was doing this as a way to get in and actually go out of his way and find out the ways about lowering values and doing all these things, when he could have just asked Mao Mao, which he ultimately ended up doing by the back end. And I feel like he could have figured that out a little bit easier. So unless he actually is being tasked or has intentions of figuring out like ways that he can kind of set something up along those lines and do that, I'm not entirely certain, I guess, for his whole reasons for going for it. Putting on the stuff or the lipstick here and things around his lip, just making him look like this. It's crazy how everybody's reaction was so good. This whole portion is just so silly. It's really good though. Her being able to see like the way that he's got a little bit, got such a strong build to him, and the calluses and everything on his hand makes her kind of question like why he's built like this, or like what exactly it is that he's doing. And he doesn't have to do sword training or any of this stuff, so why exactly is he in this situation? We get to see a little bit later when she starts connecting things a little bit more too, about the reference that he made about like being at camp and everything, and her being like, wait, they don't have to, hold on, right? And just starting to slowly connect a little bit about like what exactly his role is, or exactly who he is, as opposed to what exactly she thinks. I love the proposition of turning her into somebody like so beautiful here and flipping the script entirely. We see him first time like throughout the episode, and he's all sparkling and glowing and everything, because that's just like the energy in a way that he kind of gives off, where she's just her normal self. But now instead we flip the roles and he turns into more of the commoner situation, and she's the one glowing and everything, and so dressed up through all the makeup. It looks great. I think she looks fantastic like this. I absolutely love the two of them like this. And going on their way. Him calling him some Jinka is great too. And then also us sending Buddy here as our bodyguard, I think, is great too. Nice knowing Gaoshin was the one who was like asking him to come and watch over us. So to the one of you who made note of that theory last week about how he possibly could be the son of him, maybe because of the resemblance, and even the resemblance that Mao Mao ended up seeing, I'm starting to feel that a lot. It would make sense why he would be so easy to be the person that we task with doing this. And I like that, and I like how he ended up just following us here. Mao Mao trying to avoid all conversations but Chin Chin get away from him is great, and just trying to use this as a way to like shop and do whatever. We end up getting the chicken skewers here, which is great. This is a wonderful picture. This will be the thumbnail, and she's so happy about that. This is where the note of camp and everything kind of comes. I'm happy at the end he was able to get some too. Just didn't have to watch on as the other two ended up eating. We have this conversation again. It's basically the same one I feel like we've had before, where they kind of view him as having a toy, and how he's somebody who can't get too attached to the same thing over and over, right? And it's not good for him to like do stuff like that. Almost viewing Mao Mao like this toy again, the thing, the thing that he's so intrigued in the moment, but eventually will end up losing interest, and like things will flare out and stuff. So they're just trying to like cater towards him and give him the things that he wants and make him happy for the time being. I mean, even talking about what they've done before with him and how they've done that, it's just wrong, and they're not fully seeing it. But I guess I get it, because they also haven't ever seen him in a situation where he's acted out differently, that they would kind of view things as being something like this. But I don't know. Mao Mao having good answers for why exactly she wants to come back home so much, and actually caring about like her dad and wanting to see him and worrying, is something that catches him off guard, and mainly me. I mean, I guess too, knowing like how much she cares about things that just aren't, in her own interest. I mean, there's been so many times where we've seen her take up things that just like they don't pique her interest enough. It seems like you have to like pique her interest to a point that either benefits her or just like benefits her curiosity in some sort of way. And if it no longer does, then I don't know, it's interesting. He starts putting things together here about the old man possibly being somebody who used to be within the palace, and just how high up and important that he was of a person, because he was able to go study abroad and be able to do all these other things, right? It's a big deal. So of course he's going to start thinking of like if he actually knows this person or anything. Of course he's not going to, because this person was literally removed, I'm assuming, at the time of his birth, basically, or from the story and stuff that we've been told up to this point. It seems that's the case. He drops the question about lowering the value. Of course you get the angry look, or a lot more stern look out of her, because she's not very happy with it. We learn things about how plenty of them can learn it. Especially like the pretty ones can learn it by learning skills and doing all these things, so they can increase value through that. But the other ones who just don't have that same sort of level of skill or just attraction or whatever immediately get into having to sell themselves off. All the other ones end up going out of their way and building themselves up to become something so special over time. And then the only other ways to kind of get rid of that is to lose your purity by the end of it, or become pregnant, which is where we're assuming things are kind of going. Great episode, favorite one in a while I think that we've had, and I'm very happy with that, and I'm very nervous for what's to come, specifically around Locke. And I think Mao Mao's understanding of why Jinshi's kind of going about these things, maybe she doesn't fully grasp it all yet, but they will be on decent enough terms, I'm assuming, at some point, and she'd probably trust him enough there. Locken is somebody who does concern me, what he has done in the past, what his motives are, how we are going to handle that going forward, especially if he is related to Mao Mao. And if he's not, knowing that he probably has relation to somebody who was her father is what we're going to kind of assume right now, is it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I'm excited, but at the same time nervous, so we'll just end up letting it go by and see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought down below. If you liked it, I'll like and subscribe to me. Not to me. Feel free to check out the others in the channel and comments for this series. I'll be back for 18 next week. So have a good one though. Peace.